Hi, everybody. Happy Friday. The soap's not disappointing today. Okay, Y&R was good today, but it's going to get better next week, but I'll get to that. Okay, so we had three storylines. We had what's Victor going to do with the AI software, and what is Kane's plan to kind of combat that. And then also the story that I've been waiting for. What's going to happen with Kyle and Claire and Holden? Okay, I'm going to go in that order. So I'm going to say kind of the best for last. But yeah, okay. So what's Victor going to do with the AI software? Well, we saw Eric Braden and Mark Grossman in a scene together. And he's asking for information about what's he going to do with the program. And Victor says, I've been around a long time, and I know that sometimes you got to keep stuff close to the vest, meaning I'm not going to tell you. And then, so then I'm like, okay, he's not going to tell him. And meanwhile, Jack and Diane are talking about the impending doom, or so they think, of when Victor releases the AI software. You know? Okay. So then there's that. And then, let's see. Uh, well, just everyone around that, and they're all talking about it, which is kind of weird. Because Kane's plan to kind of combat what Victor's going to do was to offer him a deal. Because I guess Kane thinks that all Victor thinks about is money. Although I don't know, I think Kane is a little too young to remember the feud that is ever present between Jack and Victor. So maybe that's why he didn't jump to that conclusion firsthand. Okay. Um, and then so I'm going to the very end of the episode just to tie off this storyline for now because something is going to happen. But okay. So Kane offers him $1 billion, billion with a B, but it's too late because Kane acts like he's got it all figured out, and then something happens on his phone to let him know there's a problem with the this company. But then Victor plays it off like, what? So then Victor says, problem, and you know when he's done. Okay. Now, that's the very end of the episode. Okay. Now, going back to the good part. Well, the good part for me, because I feel like I got some answers here. And you know me, I love answers. Okay. So we have Claire come home from LA. Well, faux LA. Because I have a theory on that. If she was really in LA, why didn't she bump into the people from Bold and the Beautiful? But anyway, okay. So she was in LA and she was with Holden. We all know that, right? Okay, but Kyle doesn't know that. So he runs into her. He's gonna come out of the coffee shop, and she's going in, and they see each other through the door, the window in the door, you know. And he says, Claire, all excited. And I'm going to try to do facial expressions for a quick second because it was so good. I have to try. Okay. So he says, Claire, this is him. Claire. And then, oh, Holden. His expression changed like that in a millimeter of a second. Like he was happy and then not. So then, okay. what's important here is that Kyle was on his way to LA to try to talk to Claire again, right? So if they hadn't seen each other, he would be on another plane to somewhere where she's not anymore. Okay. So thank God they saw each other. Because that's what I was worried about. Remember, I made the video about it yesterday. Okay, now going on from there, Kyle tries to really convince Claire that they need to talk, whatever, and he makes it sound so serious, and she's like, "Well, I have things to do, and I don't know." So then he finally convinces her after several minutes to just visit Harrison because he missed her over Halloween. Because I told you about the costume. There were supposed to be the 3 little pigs in the houses, and it didn't work out because she wasn't there. And Harrison has been bothering him to see Claire the whole time, you know. So she says, I can't say no to the little guy. So then they go to his house. He opens the door, says, "Harrison, come here. I got a surprise for you." He doesn't know she's there at all. Like, no clue. And then Harrison comes down the stairs and says, "Best surprise ever." You know how he does. Okay. So then they start talking about how Halloween was and what happened today and whatever. So then apparently he's been playing hockey again with Connor and the other big kids, and he got a bruise, and he's so happy with the bruise. So weird. And then he said he was sad that it was going to turn into a scar. So anyway, that was some cute moments, and then he keeps asking questions about, well, what else did you and your friend do? And and then of course it gets to be the point where they can't really tell him anymore because he's a kid. So then they get him to go upstairs, and then they talk a little. But Claire says the best thing, which this is a line I feel like came out of my mouth a little bit, because she says, well, Kyle, I don't mean to hurt you, but we're broken up. So who I spend my time with isn't really your concern anymore. It's like, yes. Okay. Now, I have 2 thoughts here on the other side. I really think that Claire and Holden are going to get together again because I have a theory for this. Ever since they slept together, the day after, she was having flashbacks of that night, and Holden was having a flashback of that night too. So that's my proof that they more than likely will get back together. That's what I'm hoping for anyway. Because honestly, and this is not even a theory. Okay, now this is like kind of more fact because I've seen it. If your couple is going to be in game, if the couple is going to be in game, you're going to face challenges. And I mean challenges, okay? But they usually wait for you to be together for like a year, maybe a little more than that before they start throwing challenges at you. But with Kyle and Claire, they've had stuff from the get-go. And like I said before, if they really are in game, it doesn't matter what each of them does at this point. So, anyway, okay. So then here's the interesting part. And I want to say I was right about this, by the way. I want to say I was right about a couple of things. Because I said, okay, well, I didn't know which way that Holden was going to go. I didn't know if he was a bad guy trying to turn good, or a good guy who's just given a bad reputation. So I'm trying to figure it out. And I'm like, okay. So apparently he runs into Audra, which Zuleika Silver was on point today. Who was she on point today? Okay. She says they run into each other in the restaurant or whatever. And he's gonna give her like a heads up. But she's being so annoying that he almost doesn't say anything. And then he's like, I'm gonna tell you, I told Claire I told Claire about us. I told her about our past. And Audra turns from like smiling happy like this. Okay, she turns from this to, oh my god, what'd you tell her? Tell me, what'd you tell her? I'm like, holy wow, that is a turn. Okay. So obviously there's versions of the story. And he gave the version that he turns out to be the good guy, that she was in peril. Remember, I told you. And then he saved her from the gods, right? Well, apparently that's not the truth. And whatever the truth is, now I'm going to say truth. They don't want the truth to get out. So it's got to be bad, or there's got to be something more to it than that, which is what I always said. But see, this is what I'm talking about with the soap opera. Sometimes they throw curveballs, so you don't know what's true and not. Like you really don't. Okay. So remember that for future reference. Put a pin in that, but remember it. Okay. Now, for the upcoming week, they did do spoilers. Okay. So, but I'm gonna talk about the best one that I saw. Uh, Apparently, there's more to Sienna and Noah's relationship than I first thought, which I said from day one. Now, I want credit for this because I said, she gives me the vibe of like she's holding something back, she's hiding something. And I also said, I remember, I said, they have Mitch and her, if that's his real name. I'm not really sold on that either. Okay? Because I got, well, hold on. Okay, what I'll do is I'll make the second video and then I'll make the video, another video about all these thoughts because I have a lot. Okay, trust me. All right. Bye, everybody.